Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on the screen. I'm going to jump into it and basically get down to business here on how to run profitable Instagram ads, Facebook ads. Same thing. For those of you that don't know, Meta now owns both of these, so they are now considered the same. So I've worked, just a little background about myself. I've worked with several fitness coaches, personal trainers, and I've generated anywhere in the range of mid seven figures in terms of client results. And my ROI is 1 to 10. So for every dollar spent on Facebook and Instagram, you get a 10x return. So $10 for every $1. And if you apply these principles, I'm going to make these very vague. I'm going to make these very broad so that you can apply these for yourself. So let's jump into it. So I read this book a little bit ago called Start With Why, and looked through it. Quite interesting. And obviously the book is about starting everything with why. So with every action you take, asking yourself, why am I doing this, right? So with Facebook, I'm going to tell you exactly why this is a good idea. So a lot of people don't realize is we are in a generation of a generation of a generation, right? So markets move in waves, and these waves embed themselves in other waves. Let me explain. So this first wave was, early 2000s. We had Apple, we had Google, right? We had these platforms, right? So these places to go, these like Google or Apple, where you have your phone. In your second wave, you have your social media apps, right? So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, whatever, right? And then the third wave is your personal brands. So as you can kind of see with this chart here, you have your first wave, then your second wave is in the first wave, then your third wave is in both, right? So I believe it is Chamath Paradeep who said that he was a founder at Twitter. He explained very vividly that personal brands are going to be the next biggest thing. So these big social apps and these big Facebook platforms, personal brands are going to be in the next 10 to 15 years, the next wave. We're already kind of seeing this with Mr. Beast and his valuation of $1 billion. Hence why getting business through a brand, quote unquote, and running ads to that is everything you're going to need to do. So number one, you are the business. So you don't have to be a content creator. You don't have to be this, persona online, but you need to exist within these platforms. That's all I'm saying, right? So what social media provides is it provides a level of trust, authority, and it frames you with a certain amount of value, which ultimately lead to conversions. Because if you think about it in a sales context, if you want someone to buy, they have to have trust. They have to view you as an authority figure, and you have to provide value to them or think that they're going to get value to lead to conversion. And social media provides all these, which is the ultimate client acquisition tool, and you need to be utilizing it. All right. So why run ads? A lot of people do have actually misconceptions about ads. I've talked with hundreds of personal trainers, gym owners, etc. And people think that, the most common ones I get is Facebook's a waste of time. It's not popular anymore. Maybe back in 2012, it was popular. I don't get any conversions from it. I don't know how to do it. It costs just stuff like this, right? And I get it. Back in maybe 2012, 2013, when the platform was just kind of getting launched and it was in its infancy, the cost per acquisition was a little bit lower, right? But nowadays, in this hyper-competitive market, when not a lot of people are actually running ads in the fitness space, this is how to get ahead if you're doing it correctly, right? So just to give you a little bit of a background, I want you to compare two companies for me. So we have MailChimp and we have Facebook, right? So for example, MailChimp, a lot of people have misconceptions about what actually Facebook entails. So if you take a look at MailChimp allows you to send emails, right, in mass quantities, right? Cool, right? And then you have Facebook, where it's a social platform where you're able to send things, post things, and it's worth 116 billion, and this is only worth 700 million, right? Why? So Meta isn't as it seems. So this analogy probably didn't make sense to you, and I'm going to explain that here. So Meta is actually a data scraping service. A lot of people think Meta is a place to scroll, look at cool stuff, connect with people, do all of these like cool social media things, post reels. No, Meta is constantly scraping data from you, building a profile about you, building an identity around you, right? And if you compare these two platforms, MailChimp and Meta, for example, Meta scrapes data all the time. They realize that data is the new gold. Data is oil. And MailChimp didn't, right? So if MailChimp had as much data as Facebook, you're good. So I want you to think about it in this context. A lot of people, they'll do cold email, right? They'll send some cold emails with MailChimp, right? Now I want you to think about, okay, who are you going to send these emails to? That's the missing factor. Facebook solved that. Okay, you want to send cold emails to people? Let's just run ads. I have all the data with me. Facebook carries the data because it is always scraping, right? So Facebook tracks literally your offline status. It's probably listening to what I'm doing right now on my laptop, right? It knows your keystroke patterns on and off the app. So who you're texting, your location, your income, if you're in a relationship, your hobbies, interests, daily activities, occupation. All right. So if you want to find someone, you can find them yourself, or you can use the best data scraping machine that has ever existed, ever. Right? So you can use all this data for yourself to find your ideal client and actually get in front of them with a message that's going to ultimately help them convert and get more money in your pocket and help them reach their goals. Awesome. So what's my background with Facebook? So I've been running ads for just over about 18 months, so just under 2 years. Client results have surmounted to 7 figures plus. I have an arsenal of tactics that I've accumulated over time with Facebook that I'm going to share with you right here. So let me share with you a quick YouTube video. So this was one of my clients. We added 150K per month to his bottom line in about 120 days by literally just utilizing Facebook. So that's a little proof about like who I am. I'm not frauding you here. So you actually have an idea about who I am. And I'm not like just some person who put together a little video. I have a background in this. Cool. Let's jump back to. Cool, we're back. Awesome. So the agenda for today is I'm going to be talking about a few different topics. First, I'm going to be talking about how to set up your platform. Number 2, I'm going to be talking about the offer to present to the platform. Number 3, creatives, which is photos and videos. 4 is copywriting, so like captions and how to actually target that correctly to get people to convert. 5 is best audiences. This is a very interesting one. And number 6, I'm going to go through with you and actually launch a campaign with you where you can I'm just going to share my screen and walk you through the whole process. If you follow these 6 steps with me in the next, 45 minutes or so, you're going to have a really good idea about what to do. And every time you do this process, it's going to get a lot better, right? So let's jump into it. So I had this epiphany, right? What you might ask, what's an epiphany? It's like it's a moment of realization per se. And I realized that Facebook ads are easy to master, but hard to perfect, right? So a lot of people think that, Facebook ads are so difficult. I don't know how to do them. That's a limiting belief. It probably took me like 2 clients to get good at Facebook ads, but it's taken me like multiple more to master and to truly perfect, right? So if you do this here, you're gonna be really good. So number 1, setup. So number 1, we're gonna make a business account, right? So what does that really mean? So a lot of people just have their Instagram, they have their Facebook, but they don't know what a business account is. So your Instagram and Facebook are pages within your business account. So I want you to think about it like this. So you have a square, right? This big red square. This is your business account, right? Within that business account, there are your pages. So your Instagram page, your ad account, and your Facebook page, where the ads are actually going to be shown, right? So you have to make your business account, right? And then select your pages in it, which I'm going to do with you right here. Awesome. So what you're going to do is you're going to head over to the Meta Business Suite, and then you're going to look at a page like this. What you're going to do is you're going to log into your Facebook account, right? So log in. I'm already logged in. And then you're going to press Get Started. It's going to walk you through a few steps to actually name an account, which is pretty self-explanatory. But you're going to go here and actually make your business account. Once you log into your business account, you're going to look at something like this. This is called the Meta Business Suite, right? So this is where all of the business activity is relayed to, and this is where all of your, if you're going to run ads from, if you're going to do any sort of tracking, this is where it's all going to come from, right? So from here, where you're going to go is you're going to go to settings, and then you're going to add your Instagram account. So you're going to come over to Instagram, and then you're going to add your Instagram account with your login information. Once you've made your Instagram account, you're then going to come over to add accounts, and you're going to create an ad account. So you're going to go add account, and you're going to go create a new ad account. This is where your ads are going to be able to be ran from, right? And this is pretty much how you're going to be able to run the ads. Next, you're going to come over to pages, and you're going to make sure that your Facebook page is connected. So just 3 things that you're going to do: Instagram account, ad account, and pages. Make sure these 3 are all locked in, and then you should be able to have that initial setup for us to actually go ahead with the next steps, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But these are just the main things that you're going to need. Your ad account is basically where the ads will be running from, and the pages are the individual pages, not the business page, right? So it's very difficult to kind of like get initially. You may be like, what's going on right now? But there's your business page, so like a business account up here, and then there's like a personal page. So King's Fitness business account, and then King's Fitness Facebook page. So a page is different than an account. It's a little tricky, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Awesome. So we're back. Next, this is the most important thing in any campaign, period. And the reason why your offer is so important is this. So what a lot of people will do is they'll put up their Facebook ads and just think that because they're spending money with Facebook, that they're going to get people who are interested. But I want you to put yourself in the position of somebody scrolling through Instagram. You probably don't click on many ads, right? You only click on things that genuinely appeal to you or provide some sort of value or potential value to you. Let me give you another analogy. Let's say you were a girl in Miami, right? And there were these guys, and they're like, hey, I want you to come on this boat. We're having a boat party. And they show you the photo of the boat. And the boat is horrible. It's just rotten. It's gross. It's old. It looks smelly. You're not going to go on that boat. Why? Because the offer sucks. So it's the same thing when we're putting our Facebook ads in front of many different people. We have to have a good offer. We have to have something that is appealing for them to come back on. So ads are created outside of social media. What does this mean? This means that you have to come to the Facebook algorithm with your ad. So what happens after the ad, this is a big one, is more important than the ad itself. So once you come to the ad with your offer and then people click on that ad, right? What happens after is actually more important than the ad itself, right? Because getting people to, click on an ad with a good offer, that's pretty basic. But what happens after is more important, right? So let's reverse engineer this. This is kind of how I usually run myself through it. So what I'm always running myself through is this. So I always ask myself, what is the end goal, right? So are we optimizing for some sort of consultation, a gym tour, maybe a Zoom meeting? So we always start with the end goal in mind. So what is the end goal? Facebook ad gets ran to maybe a website. A website gets ran to maybe somebody booking a meeting. We have to think, what is the end goal? Let's just run it off of consultation for now, because that's a very common one. So then you have to ask yourself, what is included if I bought, what is trying to be sold to me in this consultation, right? So let's say I were to press on the Facebook ad, go into this consultation, and then get sold on that consultation. What is being sold to me? Losing weight, a special nutrition package, right? We have to think what is being sold, because there's a lot of things that are going on, especially in the fitness world, where there's a lot of different variations of things, right? So then what we do is we come back and we say, okay, we use the word free. So especially when you're coming to the Facebook ads platform, you're going to have to understand how to use the word free, right? So you're going to come in, you're going to say, hey, this amount of weight lost, special nutrition package. Let me think of another one. Free access for free, right? So what you're pretty much doing is you're giving information. So you're giving kind of this end-ish goal for free, and then they're giving you their information for you to contact them, right? So here are your options as a fitness coach. So what is a lead magnet? So you might be like, what the hell is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is just something to catch attention, right? So this thing, so this information, this initial thing for free, right? This initial, what are they getting for free for you to get their information, right? So next, maybe you're going to give them free consultation, a free training. This is a very big one. I love this one. So get people in on some sort of, hey, I just made a free training for you to watch. Give me your email and your phone number and you can watch it. That's a big one. Free X amount of time membership. So, hey, at our fitness studio, you can get 30 days free. That's it. It's a great offer. Free, right? You get a free nutrition plan when you sign up now, right? And this is a great one. Guarantee offers. Hey, you will lose 30 pounds in 16 weeks for free. That's a big one. Or I guarantee you will lose 30 pounds in 16 weeks, or you don't pay me, right? These are options that you can use, offers that can be transformed into lead magnets. So I get a lot of people who do free memberships. So like a month free at a gym or something like that, right? I do free trainings a lot, and I do free consultations quite a bit, right? Because this is a very large one for personal training, because this is how most people convert, right? So this is the process. A lot of people will be like, oh, why am I offering, a free nutrition plan? How's that going to help me get people, paying me $1,000 a month? Well, let me tell you, the goal isn't to get them to buy right after the ad, right? This is the start of the selling process. It is the first that are going to get knocked down, the first domino to get knocked down to allow the rest to get knocked down, right? I want you to envision a long line of dominoes, right? A selling process isn't just knocking one domino over and that's it. It's starting the first one, which has a cascading effect on the other 40, right? This is sales. So especially with ads, you're going to start small and you're going to build up, right? So let me show you some examples. So we are in the ads manager. This probably looks a little bit like a lot to you, but I'm just going to show you something really quickly in terms of the offer. So this is one ad that generated 25 leads. And I'm just going to show you exactly what the offer looks like, right? So pretty much the offer, what it pretty much is, if I can zoom in, is a free month. So this is an offer. Obviously, I'm going to get into more copywriting things, but in this, we're just specifically talking about one free month. So now here's the deal. We're offering free 1 month pass, one month pass, but let us be clear, this isn't for the faint of the heart or the casual lifter, right? So if people get to the point where they are reading to here and here, they're going to see that, okay, there's a free month pass. I'm going to show you one other example of an offer. Awesome. So this is another account, 47 leads. I'm going to show you just the offer from this. So the offer from this is, if I were to zoom in, is a free consultation, right? When you offer something that's a free consultation, you have to frame it obviously a lot better than just a free month, right? Because a free consultation is obviously harder to sell because they know that they're going to get sold to, right? So we are offering a free consultation, and we also offered with this ad a free training as well, right? So we split tested free consultation and a free training, right? So I put together this brand new training for you to uncover, right? And it's totally free. So click the link to watch the free training. So it's free, right? Let me find the other one that talks about the free consultation. Free consultation, basically leading with the offer, right? Cool. Pretty much examples of how we ran with a free consultation and how we ran with a free training. Honestly, the point that I wanted to get to is just utilizing the word free, because when people see free on a Facebook ad, they're just like, yeah, I want it because it's free. You don't have to pay. People love free things. Awesome. So this is a big one, creatives. So a lot of people don't know what creatives really mean. Creatives are just like photos and videos, right? So it's kind of like a marketing term, creatives. But having good photos and videos on your ads are probably the biggest thing. So creatives are another way of saying photos and videos. And 90% of the time, if your ads aren't performing good, it's your creatives and it's your offer. So like every time my ads have been performing bad, I always go to my creative and I say, hey, is my creative okay? And I say, is my offer okay? And if these two are in check and I'm still not performing right, then something really weird is happening, because this is about 90% of the solution to usually the problems. So number one is you don't know what works, right? So what I've found is there's several different things that work and several different things that don't work. So what I mean by this is a lot of people will tell you, hey, only video ads work. Hey, only photo ads work. Hey, only these types of photos work, right? The thing is, you don't know what works. I don't even know what works. I can give you maybe a framework of what works, but you don't know what works, right? So number one is you have to test with the masses, right? You have to try many different things. Try photos, try videos, try several different things, see what sticks, because ultimately you don't know what works. You have to constantly be testing. Marketing is just a longer word for testing, right? But what I've seen generally perform better, right? And this is a very vague thing, because, sometimes these may get outperformed by, maybe these rules may be broken. But number one is high quality, right? Low quality photos, I've seen in some cases, like you can maybe make some sort of like decent ad off of it, but most of the time high quality. Number two is photos of people with emotion. So a lot of people, they'll post like photos of just like random things in their gym. Unless it's like a really high quality edited video, then I'm sorry, it's just not going to work, right? You need photos of people. You need photos of people in your gym. You need photos of people smiling. I love emotion photos, so people smiling, people maybe frowning, people doing a workout. Photos of people with emotion. Number three is limited text on screen. I don't like it when there's, tons of text on the screen. It just yells that I'm trying to sell you something. It just yells that, hey, buy my program, buy my thing. It just sucks, right? Limited text on screen, it just cleans it up, makes it look better, allows people to just see the photo for what it is. Number four is random and casual things. So a lot of the times people don't realize is very weird photos sometimes do really well, right? So a lot of people don't realize, like, sometimes you'll just put like a random photo of yourself, just like a mirror selfie in the gym, or just a photo of one of your trainers doing some movement, and it will just go crazy. Or just a casual photo of you, doing a bench press. Just very random photos of just like fitness related things will go crazy, or even non-fitness related things. One of my best ads is a magazine cover that one of my trainers was in, right? Crazy stuff, just super casual, but it went crazy, right? Number five is no photos of meals, screenshots, client results, logos. I've had so many clients come to me and they're like, hey, I have my logo. Can we just put up my logo with, some copy? And I kind of like, I'm like, come on. Or photos of meals. People will put up photos of meals and say, hey, we have this new meal plan thing that we're doing, and, you should really try us out. Sucks, right? Next, client results. This is just how to get banned on Facebook. Facebook is going to ban you if you post like transformation shots. That's just how it works. Next, number 4. Next, we're going to be talking about copywriting. So this is a very important one because this is how to sell with words. And obviously I can jump into, the ins and outs of copywriting, how to do it, how to actually there's very specific things that happen within copywriting. Personally, I've read, a few books on copywriting. You can go really deep into the rabbit hole, but I'm going to try to keep it basic. I'm going to show you what works. I'm going to show you what doesn't work. And I'm going to actually tell you how things work. So in other words, copywriting is how to sell with words, how to just write something that sells for you, right? So this is possibly the most important thing with copywriting, right? So a lot of people, they'll focus on writing nice things, putting together this beautiful thing when they just neglect their headline. Because David Ogilvy said this, and this is kind of me paraphrasing, but 80 cents of your marketing dollar is spent on headlining, right? So 80% of your budget is wasted or utilized based on your headlining. So if you can perfect your headlining, you can perfect, everything else. Because if you think about it, your headline, right? People read your headline, they get interested, and then they read your copy, they get even more interested, and then they convert, right? So let me show you what I mean by headline. So, we are back. Beautiful. So this is 1,000 winning headline swipe. I've been collecting these for quite a while. And a lot of these I've actually gotten from like the sex industry because they're so catchy, right? So these basically are the best headlines to be using. I've used a few of these before, and I actually kind of sift through these and find really winning headlines. I've actually gotten a few of these from here. So this one right here I've used probably 80% of the time. The amazing secret, or the while you sleep. Yes. So I had this one ad that I did for a client that generated like almost $500,000, and it was an ad about losing weight while you sleep. I also had the story. I also did this one where it was the amazing secret of the man who did this, so lost 30 pounds with this time frame or with this model, right? So these are the best headlines. What is the secret to headlining? I don't think there's a secret. I think it's just catching attention, right? So decreasing the time interval to reach the goal is everything. So you have to think end goal. What do they want to lose weight? What do they want to gain muscle? So think about incorporating that, right? And then take out the time interval so you can do quickly and easily gain 30 pounds of muscle while you sleep. So there's no effort, there's no sacrifice, right? Or for free, there's no effort or sacrifice with free things either, right? Or the secret thing that no one talks about. That's another great angle. How to lose 30 pounds in a secret way that no one has ever talked about ever. Cool. So we talked about this. Now we're going to talk about some tips that I have for you on writing successful copy. So I would recommend that you read this one book, and you can get it on Amazon, like on the Kindle store. It's called Breakthrough Advertising. It talks all about copywriting, and it tells you specifically how to actually write good copy. It would take you maybe a week or 2 weeks to read, but the return on that investment is crazy. So what are some tips that I've gotten from that book, and just kind of in general for writing successful copy? Number 1, lead with your offer, right? If your offer is good, lead with it. If it sucks, don't lead with it at all. I'm just going to tell you straight up, don't lead with it if it sucks, but if it's good, lead with it. So a lot of people, if they're offering like a free month at their gym, lead with that. Hey, I'm offering a free month at my gym, sign up here. It's as easy as that. If your offer is not the best and it's just a free consultation, you're going to have to famoose your way with some copy, right? Number 2, always have an angle to appeal to, right? So if your offer is really good, you can use that as your angle. But if not, you have to have another angle to appeal to. So an angle can be like losing weight, getting muscle, some secret way, some training that I've spent a really long time on. Basically, the headlining sheet that I was showing you guys about, those are all individual angles. So losing weight in X amount of time, the amazing story of this person who lost this amount of weight. When you're writing copy, you're basically telling a story about the headline, right? So have an angle to appeal to and run it off that angle if your offer is not good enough to run it off of. Number 3, be specific. If you're going to help someone lose weight, how much weight are they going to lose? When are they going to lose it? Who is it for? Right? Be super, super specific with who you're helping, what you're helping them with, how you're helping them. Right? Number 4, copy is basically a sales script. Right? So what a lot of people don't realize is they're writing these elaborate copywriting sales letters. And they don't realize that you should and you can be even just testing your copy like it's a sales script. So what the people used to do, like the old direct response marketers used to do in the 20s and 30s, is they would take their copywriting and they would go door to door with it and use it as a sales script. And if it didn't work, then they wouldn't use it. If it did work, they would test it with, thousands of homes, and that's how they would get their market feedback. Crazy stuff. 5 is headlining. So headlining, we indicated this is a very important part. And number 6, you have to have a smooth call to action. So when people go through your ad and they click on the end of your ad, it shouldn't be like, hey, buy now. It should be like, hey, learn more. Something that's an easy transition that doesn't pressure them, right? There's a reason why people who pressure people in sales don't do well, right? It's because there has to be an organic transition to the close. Awesome. So the goal for here is to basically have, when you're launching your campaign, 3 to 5 pieces of copy with 5 solid headlines, right? So these 5 headlines can appeal to these 3 to 5 different pieces of copy. I'm going to show you an example right here. Awesome. So if you take a look at this headline right here, thousands lost weight with this one simple tip: ignore at your peril. Interesting. Thousands lost weight with this one tip. It's simple as well. Ignore, and it's like bad for you, right? During the past 20 years, I've transformed thousands upon thousands of people. How? With relentless focus on 3 key things. You see, the entire marketplace is bombarded with people telling you to do 1,000,001 different things like keto, carnivore diet, more cardio, HIIT. Guess what? It doesn't work. While others are spreading themselves thin on 11 different things, my clients and I are quietly focusing on 3 and figuratively eating their lunch while we're at it. Want to know what these three key things are? I personally put together a brand new training showing you how to get in the best possible shape quickly using these 3 key things. Since 2006, I've been sharing one of the best, if not the best, client success track records in the entire industry. If you're interested in losing weight and gaining muscle quick, and this is for you. Click on the link below to see the free video before it's taken down, right? So the headline, this can be applied to a few different forms of copy, right? So let's take a look at this one. Unicorns don't exist. Stop doing what everyone else is doing and expecting the same results. Are you falling into the same traps that many others who are following try to get in shape follow? That many others who are trying to get in shape follow, right? So what I'm trying to say is many different forms of headlines. Paul Anthony shares a simple process for losing over 40 pounds while you sleep, right? This one ad this did a lot of money for us, right? It got us like a lot of leads for this campaign specifically. So how this Jack trainer generated 360 pro cards. Great butt and thighs, a pro trainer's inside secrets. All right, so your headlines don't always have to relate to the text, but I would recommend that for the 3 to 5 pieces of copy you write, you start with the headline and then you build your copy off of that headline. So start with something like great butt and thighs, a pro trainer's inside secrets. And then you talk about that. Let me guess, you want to build a butt, but don't know how. I get it. You look in the mirror and wonder why you weren't born with a great butt, questioning if it's possible to be like the girls on Instagram. After working with over 10,000 once bootyless clients, I've narrowed it down to a simple 3-step process that literally anyone can do to build the butt of their dreams. So, what is the problem? Here's the solution. So, pretty much what it is, like I just said, is you have your problem, right? Or you have your desire. So why are you doing it like this? Or do you want to do it like this? right? Do you want to build a big butt, right? Is that your desire, or is there a problem? So for example, I'll give you an example. Why are you making these fitness mistakes? There's a problem, right? Or lose 30 pounds right now. Whoa, right? And then you have to make that for a specific person. So call the specific person out. Don't be afraid to call them out. So mom's over 20, mom's over 30, mom's over 80, right? Next, you insert your solution and make sure that your time interval and the pain is low. It's easy to hit that solution, right? So to get that solution, it's a very low barrier of entry. Number 3 is use your lead magnet to provide the solution, right? So what does this mean? You're pretty much using your, like I said, that free training, that initial offer, that free consultation to then CTA people for the solution. So your solution is in that lead magnet. You want to do all of this. You want to lose 30 pounds. Great. I'm giving away a few free consultations. Click the link to get started. Next, staying hidden versus standing out. This is like, out of all of the tactics per se in Facebook ads, this is probably the most important in terms of copywriting. Let me just take a sip of water. Awesome. So staying hidden versus standing out. A lot of people, what they'll do is they will just make an ad and they'll say, hey, my ad is offering this much for this much. Hey, our services are this much. We're an advertisement. Click on our advertisement. We're an ad, right? They're screaming, right? That is just how to get people to run away from you, right? I want you to imagine this. Let's say you're a guy and you go out to a nightclub and you want to get with the girl that night. So you go up to every girl and you say, hey, do you want to have sex? This first thing you say, hey, do you want to have sex? 99, let me just say 100% of girls are probably going to say no. Unless you're like 6'8", right? And like a model, right? So that's the same thing with ads. You can't lead with like your clothes. You can't lead with like, hey, I'm an advertisement. Click on me. Convert, right? You have to kind of like provide value and like nurture them a little bit. Like hence with this stuff. So call their problem out, make an angle out of it, tell a little bit of a story, insert your solution, use your lead magnet with that offer. Remember that offer? What? Come back to the offer. One of these, right? Insert one of these as your solution for that nice copywriting story that you were talking about, right? Cool. Let's come back. Next, big one as well, audiences. So a lot of people don't really know what audiences are. You probably don't know what audiences are until you actually get into the Facebook platform. But pretty much is this like who you're targeting. This is your market, right? So when you take your ads to Facebook, this is where you go to Facebook and you're like, hey, I want you to find these people with this certain amount of interest groups who like doing this, who make this much money, right? This is where you tell Facebook who you want these ads to be shown to, right? And this is honestly the lifeline of your Facebook ads, because who you're selling to matters more than what you're selling, right? That's a very big one. That's a very big paradigm shift in terms of actually getting conversions, right? So number one is Facebook is way more powerful and knows much more than you will ever know. Don't cry. I know it's sad. Don't cry. Facebook is, like I said, it's a data scraping machine. It knows a lot about everyone. It tracks keystroke patterns. It tracks everything. So if you had a best friend who knew, let's say, so much about everything, would you limit him and would you say, hey, you can only do math? Or would you say, hey, you can do any subject ever, right? Just see what happens, right? Don't confine the Facebook platform. This is what a lot of people will do. They confine it in a box, and pretty much what that does is you just get worse results, right? So don't confine it. To share with you a quick kind of background about how this works, with your audiences and your ads, your ads are always evolving. So I want you to think about your audiences as like an echo chamber, like a like an environment per se, right? So in order for things to evolve, there has to be variation. So a lot of different variations of things, a lot of different things, and certain people with different variations get killed off, and the best variant, the best person survives, then reproduces, right? And the same thing happens again until you get an entirely different thing, right? So it's the same with Facebook. You have to let the platform kill off the bad performing ads and promote the good ones and let your ads and your audiences evolve. So let me show you an example. So this is your audience. You want to help people who lose weight, right? So I'm a personal trainer and I help people lose weight, right? What you'll do is when you go to the Facebook platform, you do one audience that helps people lose weight, that you know, one audience that you know everyone is going to be in, a very broad audience. Then what you do is you then make little niches, like throwing darts on a dartboard, of people within that niche, right? So dads, 50-year-olds, people who like to go to Marbella in spring, right? What you're pretty much doing is you're gambling, right? So one audience that has basically the target fully inside, so who you're targeting in full, right? You're targeting people who want to lose weight, right? And then 5 other random niches within that, right? So what you're going to do is these 5 random, maybe one's going to hit, or maybe none of them are going to hit, right? And then when you launch it again, 1 is going to hit or 2 is going to hit, right? What it's like though is it's like gambling in a way. It's a way of predicted gambling. And I narrowed it down because this is probably the best way to do it. Because a lot of people, they'll just literally launch like an audience like very broad, and it doesn't hit that well, right? You have to narrow it down, have one that's big, and then narrow it down. Just it's like throwing darts on a dartboard. You're not going to hit the center every time, but when you do, you're just going to blow up, and that's when you're going to get like crazy results, crazy returns, right? Next, launching the ads. So now I'm going to actually show you how to take all of this stuff. I'm coming back here. All this stuff in terms of audience, offer, copywriting to the platform, right? I'm going to take this to the platform and actually do this. So I'm going to transition to the other screen and I'm going to show you everything going forward. So we already have our business manager set up. We have our Instagram accounts connected. And I'm going to show you actually how to launch everything. Awesome. So once you come over to the Meta Business Suite that we set up before, what you're going to do is you're going to come over to the Ads Manager. If you click on the 3 lines and you come over to the side here, it's here. You can also look up Ads Manager and find it right there. So you're going to come over to the Ads Manager. And what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you're selecting the ad account that you created. So obviously I have a few ad accounts here, but you're going to select the ad account that you created, and it should look something like this, also under your business account. So this is obviously going to take a little bit of work to, obviously like set up the stuff from before, but once it's set up, it should look something like this with you having, no campaigns, no ad sets, no ads, just totally empty. So what you're going to do is come over, click create, and you're going to need to basically now think about, okay, what type of campaign are we creating, right? So we talked a little bit about the nuances before about like copywriting, your offer and whatnot, but I always just run lead ads, especially for fitness, because, I like that human element. I like following up with leads myself. We have appointment setters that follow up with our clients' leads. So basically with lead ads is we follow up with the leads, like they give us their information and we basically just follow up with them. Traffic ads is sending them to like a website. Awareness ads is just like no CTA, no call to action. It's just like, here's an ad. There's nothing you can do about it. Engagement is like pushing a comment or like a message. app promotion or sales or stuff like that. But I do leads, and I get people to fill out a form and just give me their information. So you're going to go ahead and press create. So here is now where you have your campaign, your ad set, and your ad. So if you click X, you now have your campaign, your ad set, and your ad. What you're now going to do is you're going to come over to ad sets, right? And you're going to click edit. Now you're going to edit your ad set. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to make sure your Facebook page is connected, right? So make sure that, like before, that Facebook page being connected, make sure it says your page right there, because that's where it's going to show. And then right under is where your Instagram is going to connect. It's not really showing for me right now, but it's usually there. And then this is where we get into audience, right? So where we're actually collecting our audiences, now we have to ask ourselves, are we an online business or are we a local business? This is where a lot of nuances come in. So if we are an online business and our location is anywhere in the world, I would just choose first world countries. So Canada, USA, England, and then Western Europe. So free trade and maybe some free trade countries that I can target, but mostly Canada and the US and the UK. That's kind of like the best places to target. But if you're a local business, if you're a local personal training studio, local gym, then you're just going to obviously target in a 7 mile. What I like to do is a 7 mile radius around where you live, around your location. So that's for your location. And then for your audience, you're going to come over. I like to edit my age. I do 18, my minimum age. And then you're going to come and create a over, and you're going to make sure that, you know, your clientele is within the age. So I usually do like 20s to 60. So right now what we're doing is we're creating our one audience that kind of has everyone in it, right? And then what I do is I do add my detailed targeting. So I do fitness, so physical fitness. And that's pretty much all I do, right? For that one broad audience, right? I make sure I'm doing advantage placements. And then I come over to my ads, and this is where I actually do all my ads, right? So this is where you add your media, so your creative that I was talking about before. And then this is where your headline goes, and then your primary. So the way I usually do it is I have my one audience, and I'll have my 5 different angles within this audience, right? And then I will duplicate this. So let me just show you. So I will duplicate the ad 5 times for my 5 different. So these are for my angles that I've made, right? Do you remember the angles from the presentation, right? I will put all my angles in here. So with my different text, and then I will just mash up the creative, just kind of do random creatives with these, with the text and the headline, with the one ad set that targets everyone, right? So now that we have this in check, all we have to do now is just go duplicate. And then now we're going to duplicate this 5 times, right? And then if we come here, it has the same ads with the same 5 angles, right? With the same ad sets. It's just duplicates. But we're going to now come over to the audience, and now we're going to narrow in, right? So when I mean narrow in, we're just going to start to add different things. So I like to kind of just add random things and save all of them, of course. So I like to do an income one as well. Interests, family relationship. There's one, and then I will save this audience as number 1 specific. Cool. So that's my number 1, which is the first of the pinpoint, right? And then I'll come over and I'll do the other ones with the duplicated ones. So suggestions, maybe CrossFit, cosmetics, browse, behaviors, education, fields of study, right? Maybe just find something that I can add. that may kind of hit, like I said, in terms of it's at the end of the day, it's kind of a gamble because you're trying so many different things and you're kind of testing what works. Parents. Right. And then let's save this one. And then I'll do this 3 more times to get 5. So just do one more with you guys here. And go engage shoppers. Fashion. Running. Browse. Financial. Income. Let's go top 10%. Suggestions. Married. Let's try that. Right. This is more of like a female type one, I want to say. Specific. All right, this is 3. Right. And then now we have our one audience that targets kind of everyone in our niche, and then other ones that are going to maybe hit or not hit. Right. So what's going to happen over time is when we actually run our 5 different angles with our 5 different plus creatives, with our 5 different ad sets and our 5 different audiences, what happens is maybe one ad set will do really good, right? So if you actually look in the ad set, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. One will get like all the results, or maybe 2 will get all the results. And then what you'll do is maybe let's say this one, and this one aren't performing that well. You'll just come here, turn them off, and say, you know what? These ones aren't performing the best. I'm going to promote the ones that are doing well. And then what you do is you come here and then you just up the budget, right? So what I like to start with in terms of budget is I want to start with something quite low, because it doesn't matter if you start with $100 a day or $10 a day, right? You're still going to get the same results and you're still going to see which ones are doing better. So initially you have to give it maybe a week or 2 to test, and then you can turn off and then allocate more budget to the ones that are doing well. And that's when you're actually going to start to get the results, right? So that's pretty much the entire training for today. We did a 52-minute training. We talked about quite a bit of things. In terms of the setup, that's pretty much everything that you're going to need. Everything else, honestly, I think you can kind of figure out by yourself. You're going to learn a lot the more you go through this process, and the more you do this yourself, obviously the more you're going to learn and the more you're going to get comfortable with it, kind of like anything. So do this. You're going to need to do ads eventually, and you might as well get good at them, because if you can get good at them, then you're going to differentiate yourself. Or you can just come to us, who are the professionals, and we can help you with this process and get this process going for yourself in your potential personal training studio or gym. Pretty much kind of what we do within our agency is we do ads to a lead form, and then we have appointment setters that follow up with those lead forms. Pretty much in terms of, like I was telling you, in terms of our offer, in terms of our audience, we put together actually a new offer and market that for you and get people in for you in your calendar. So you kind of just have to take it in close. So that's kind of what we do. If you go and watch my pinned video on my YouTube, you can get a little bit more information if that interests you. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you have an excellent rest of your day.